And take things away then.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We want to welcome you tonight to our local Eat Scrumptious Strawberries workshop. I'm Malik Baba, bilingual Turkish nutritionist with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Marta Blanco, and I'm a senior nutritionist with Cornell Extension as well.
We are so excited to be presenting our local Eats workshop series to you today. We hope you find it informative, useful, and fun. Feel free to enter any questions you may have pertaining to our topic in the chat box, and we will answer throughout. And thank you, Lynn, for being our host tonight.
Okay, so during this presentation, our objectives are to learn the basics of planting and growing strawberries, their nutritional benefits, and how to incorporate them into your day as we share some of our favorite strawberries recipes.
That's right. So we're going to start with the strawberry family. So strawberries are members of the Rosaceae family, commonly known as the rose family. The rose family encompasses roughly about 3,400 species, including herbs, trees, and shrubs. The plants in the rose family are divided into subfamilies that share common characteristics. Apples, almonds, cherries, pears, raspberries, and roses are included in the rose family.
And strawberries come in a variety of colors. Red, there are 3 main strawberry varieties that are red. These are June-bearing, ever-bearing, and day-neutral strawberries, each with a different time and duration of fruiting. We also have white, which are pine berry and white alpine. The white berries have a unique flavor profile in addition to their unique red-seeded appearance with pineapple overtones. Alpines are exquisitely aromatic and flavorful, but the strawberries are quite small. Purple strawberries, we have the Purple Wonder. Purple strawberries do indeed exist. The first real purple strawberry was released by Burpee a few years ago. Yellow and golden strawberries, the Yellow Wonder, in addition to the white and red alpine varieties, and they also come in yellow. Malik, I think it's time for a little trivia question.
Yes, that's right. So here's our first trivia question for tonight. How many calories are in 1 serving of strawberries? You can put your answers in the chat box, and these are the options. Is it A, 90, B, 150, C, 200, or D, 250?
Okay, we have somebody responding A.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody
That's
else?
90. Any other answers?
B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the answer, Malik?
Okay, the answer is 90 calories, A. So a cup of strawberries have only about 90 calories. Their sugar content is lower than most other fruits. So if you're watching your sugar intake, a single serving of strawberries would be a good snack option for you. Thank you for participating.
Okay, so we move on to some fun facts. Strawberries are the only fruit that have their seeds on the outside. 94% of Americans' households consume strawberries and enjoy it by young and old alike. The 5th most consumed fruit in the United States are the strawberries. Americans eat an average of 3.5 pounds of fresh strawberries each year. Strawberries are grown in every single United States. And ancient Romans used strawberries to treat depression, fever, and sore throat.
Interesting and good to know. All right, so growing strawberries starts with buying seeds or starter plants. With seeds, it will take as much as a month before you see any signs they're growing. You won't get any fruit until the following year. To increase your chances of success, remove all the flowers in the garden for that first year. Your plants will be bigger and stronger and yield a bigger harvest. Now we're going to watch a short video on how to grow strawberries in pots.
For many people, Strawberries are their flavor favorite. The red, luscious globes of goodness available throughout the summer are simply irresistible. And what if I told you that you could grow copious amounts of your own strawberries this summer in just pots or containers? As a ground-dwelling plant, it's actually super easy, and I'll show you how. Whether growing strawberries in your garden or in pots, you want to start with healthy crowns or starter plants. And most importantly, you want to be working with well-known varieties that work best in your climate. To do this, look to see what cultivars are offered at your local garden centers and at your local seed clubs. A great resource, if possible, is to obtain runners or even crowns from neighbors, family, or friends that have successful strawberry patches. We begin by preparing our pots or containers. Strawberries are shallow-rooted plants that benefit from more area rather than depth or volume. I try to use 5-gallon squat nursery pots wherever possible for my strawberries, but for this video, I only have the tall ones available. First up, I always line my pot with newspaper to prevent that soil from leaking out the bottom. Next, I fill that pot to about 75% full with a quality organic potting mix. Just choose a light, airy mixture designed for seedlings or young potted plants. Before we can start planting, we gotta wet that soil down thoroughly to prevent root shock from the transplanting. It is now time to plant. Grab your strawberry plant in one hand, and with the other hand, cradle the top of the pot, straddling the crown with your index and middle fingers. Strawberry plants rarely get root bound, so it'll likely pop right out. Now, note the crown of that plant. Strawberry crowns always grow in one direction. Take note of that, as we want to plant the crown with the direction pointing out of the pot. We want that foliage, and thus the fruits, to hang off the outside of the pots. For spacing, strawberry plants need to be a certain distance from each other. For standard nursery pot sizes, this works out to be about one plant per 1.5 gallons. The 5-gallon pot that I'm working with today fits 3 plants just perfectly. And at this spacing, the pot should last about 5 years before I need to replace the strawberries. You're going to want 4 inches between each crown for optimal growth. To continue, take more of that organic potting mix and begin to fill in and around all your strawberry plants. Here, you can really see the benefit of using a nice light mixture as we work the soil in and around the plants. Add a little bit more soil as you go along. You want to bring that level up to just under the height of those strawberry crowns. Compress that soil around the plants firmly, taking care not to damage the crowns. Speaking of that crown, ensure that they do not get buried during the potting process. Strawberry crowns are designed to sit above ground, and if they get buried, that plant could rot. So make sure you take a moment at the end to uncover those crowns at the base of the plants, as this is quite vital. Your temptation would be to now water, but don't. First, we must mulch the pot. You can mulch your strawberry pots with many different things, such as grass clippings, yard trimmings, or even shredded leaves. In this case, I'm using coarse straw. Mulch that pot at least 1 inch thick. Mulching is necessary for a successful garden, as it helps to moderate extreme soil temperatures, prevents moisture loss, and keeps that top layer of your soil bioactive. But of immediate benefit to us right now is that it allows us to water from above without blasting that soil everywhere. For the first drowning, I usually use about 1.5 liters of water per gallon of soil. This will set up the plants nicely and it shouldn't need another watering for at least 2 weeks. Strawberry plants are very undemanding, and setting them up this way ensures less maintenance on our part and guarantees success for that plant. It's simply amazing how much fruit a strawberry plant can actually produce. Even more amazing is how much fruit they can produce while being grown in a container or pot. If you're running out of planting room in your garden, or if you have some space on your deck or patio and you want to grow something, look no further than the unbeatable strawberry. Hey, thanks for watching, guys.
Lots of great information. So our next slide is going to have our second trivia question. If we can get there, yes.
Okay, thank you, Malik. So second trivia question. How many pounds of strawberries can be grown in an acre of land? So you can enter your answers in the chat box or unmute yourself. It's 500 pounds, 5,000 pounds, 50,000 pounds, or 500,000 pounds. Take a guess. So we have B, 5,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I would have guessed too. C,
Right.
50,000 pounds. Okay. Anybody else?
Okay, is it time to reveal?
Yes. So
Let's
it's
do it.
C, 50,000 pounds. So that's a lot of strawberries.
A lot of strawberries. Ooh,
Yes,
yummy strawberries.
very productive fruit.
Yes. So how do you enjoy your strawberries? Do you have any ideas or unique recipes that you would like to share with us? You can put them in the chat box. If you ask me, strawberries are great in any way and form and with anything.
Are we having a salad? Yes, especially in the summertime, right? Like it's so much fun to give that salad color and some
Yes.
freshness with some fruit. And scones, yes,
Ooh,
I
yes.
like those too. Especially their homemade scones.
Always. All right, thank you so much for sharing, everyone. Our next slide will show various ways to enjoy this delicious fruit.
Okay, so of course it's great as is, right? We can have it as a snack. Just washing it and eat it straight out of the plant. If you have it, if you've just planted something in your garden, you can also add to cereal and yogurt or in a salad and scones, like you shared in the chat box. Great addition also to smoothies or baked goods are whole chopped or pureed. Ideal sweet substitution in place of desserts. Remember, it's low calorie and very high in fiber, and it keeps you feeling full. So it's a great addition to that. Another way to enjoy your strawberries is to use them in jams and jellies, and try using low sugar options when purchasing or making your own recipes. So has anybody here used strawberry jam or strawberry jelly? Not very hard to make at all. And Malik?
Yes. All right, so next is selection. When you select your strawberries, try to choose fully ripened, bright red berries. Strawberries do not ripen after they have been picked. Berries should be plump and have a natural shine with bright green, fresh-looking caps. Use strawberries as soon after picking as possible for the best flavor and highest nutritional value. Storing your strawberries is very important. The best way to do this is to store your strawberries in the refrigerator, covered, unwashed, with the caps on. Do not crowd them. If you have the space, gently spread the berries on a cookie sheet and cover with plastic wrap. And try to use your berries within 2 to 3 days. Freezing is a great option to keep them fresh. Just gently washed under tap water, spread out on an absorbent towel and allow them to dry. Remove the stem and arrange on a large baking sheet. Freeze overnight or until berries are firm. Place in an airtight freezer bag and keep up to 9 to 12 months. Try to handle strawberries gently. Don't wash them till ready to eat and never soak them. Never remove the caps before washing. The caps prevents water from soaking into the berry, which lessens the flavor and changes the texture. To wash, cover your berries in cold water and lift gently out of the water to drain. Dry by placing berries in a single layer on paper towels. After washing, remove the caps if necessary. Give the cap a gentle twist or use the point of a sharp paring knife or pointed spoon. Pat berries dry with paper towels before serving, whole or sliced, fresh or cooked. And remember, once picked, you should refrigerate to preserve vitamin C.
Hey, thank you. That's a lot of good information. I love the freezing one.
Mhm.
Okay, so the third trivia question is, how many seeds are in an average size strawberry? I remember
That's
that
a
I
tough
used to
one.
always get this one
Mhm.
as asked in school. Right, so let's see, B, 70, okay. Anybody else? Another B. Okay, so should we reveal the answer, Marie?
Yes, let's do that.
So
Let's see.
200, that's a lot of seeds, and good thing they're all edible, right? You don't want to be picking that.
Oh, no. All right.
Okay, thank you
you.
for sharing your answers.
Okay, so fresh or frozen? Which do you think is better? Do you buy your strawberries fresh or frozen? Again, you can put the answers in the chat box.
Okay, we have fresh.
Okay, so fresh strawberries are a healthy addition to any diet. The health value of frozen strawberries depends on the type you choose. Unsweetened frozen strawberries provide many of the same nutrients as fresh, and their benefits are available year-round. However, sweetened versions can add too much sugar to your diet. Nutrient-wise, 1 cup of thawed unsweetened strawberries provides about 90 calories, as we spoke about before, and they have no fat. This serving contains more than 150% of the recommended dietary allowance for vitamin C, based on a 2,000 calorie diet. However, if you choose sweetened strawberries, the calorie count per cup increases to nearly 200 calories versus 90. Big difference. Things to consider, frozen fruits are packaged at the peak of ripeness. Fresh strawberries that come from distant areas may be picked before they're fully ripe, which may prevent them from reaching their nutritional potential and taste too. During transport, these fruits may also experience nutrient loss because of exposure to heat and light. Frozen strawberries also offer a preferable texture and more intense flavor for smoothies or purees. When thawed, however, frozen strawberries do not make good additions to fruit salads and tarts due to consistency. So depending on how you're going to use them, you can purchase both fresh or frozen. They will be nutritionally very similar.
So strawberries are, have many nutritional benefits, and some of them are rich, very rich phytonutrients. They have vitamin C. Strawberries are an excellent source of this vitamin and a powerful antioxidant necessary for immune and skin health. They're also high in fiber. A 3.5-ounce serving of strawberries provides 2 grams of fiber, both soluble and insoluble fiber. Dietary fibers are important to feed the friendly bacteria in your gut and improve digestive health. They are also useful for weight loss and can help prevent many diseases. Manganese is another nutrient present in strawberries and frequently found in high amounts in whole grains, legumes, fruits, and vegetables. This trace element is important for many processes in your body. Folate, one of the B vitamins, is important for normal tissue growth and cell function, and fundamental for pregnant women and older adults. Potassium, a key nutrient for regulating blood pressure, and strawberries also provide small amounts of iron, copper, magnesium, phosphorus, and vitamin B6, vitamin K, and vitamin E. So a lot of nutrients packed in those little ones.
And they're delicious too. All right, let's talk about the health benefits of strawberries. Studies have found a relationship between berries or berry anthocyanins and improved heart health. So berries may improve HDL, the good cholesterol, and blood pressure. Strawberries are rich in antioxidants and thus tend to reduce inflammation. Strawberries are fat and sodium-free. Diets low in sodium may reduce the risk of high blood pressure, a disease associated with many factors. While many factors affect heart disease, diets low in saturated fat and cholesterol may reduce the risk of this disease. Strawberries are also, as Martha mentioned before, they're very high in vitamin C, and eating strawberries is associated with a reduced risk of many chronic diseases, while they're improving heart health, lower blood sugar levels. It also helps support blood sugar regulation. Strawberries seem to slow down glucose digestion and reduce spikes in glucose. Strawberries may be particularly useful for preventing metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes. While the development of cancer depends on many factors, a diet low in total fat may reduce the risk of some cancers.
Okay, so let's take a look at the United States Department of Agriculture My Plate recommendations for fruit. So you might be familiar with that little symbol on your upper left corner, which symbolizes the My Plate. So let's review the recommendations for fruit. The amount of fruit you need to eat depends on the age, the gender, and the level of physical activity. The amount each person eats can vary between 1.5 to 2 cups each day. For those with weight and blood sugar concerns, it may be important to limit fruit juice intake. Don't forget that when you consume the juice, you are missing out on the essential nutrient fiber. Now for our favorite portion of this workshop, here are some unique strawberries recipes. I apologize, that's my puppy. So if you can see in this chart, women, may need between 1.5 and 2 cups, and men 2 cups of fruit a day. So we encourage you to include strawberries as one of those options in your meals or your salads or snacks.
All right, thank you, Martha. All right, here comes our first recipe of the night. One of my favorites, overnight strawberry shortcake oats. I don't know if you're into these overnight oats yet, but they're very easy to prepare. They're delicious. They're almost like dessert for breakfast, but much healthier. Now we're gonna watch a video on how to make these.
Overnight oats have been all over the internet for the past few years, and a couple of months ago I shared one of my favorite versions with you, which was a banana and chocolate recipe, and today I thought I'd share another version, which is these strawberry shortcake overnight oats. If you've not tried overnight oats before, then I really do urge you to give them a try. They're so quick, they're so easy to throw together, they make a super nutritious breakfast, and it's especially great at this time of year. Okay, so let's get started. The ingredients we're going to need are rolled oats, chopped fresh strawberries, milk, plain Greek yogurt, strawberry jam, vanilla extract, and this is totally optional, but for toppings I like some more strawberries and some shredded coconut. Okay, I'm going to show you just how quick and just how simple this recipe actually is. All we're going to do is to take all those ingredients, except for the toppings, and throw them into a big bowl and just mix everything together until it's all well combined. We're then going to cover the bowl with some plastic wrap or some tin foil and put it in the fridge for at least 1 hour or up to overnight. And then in the morning, all we need to do is to take the bowl out of the fridge and it's ready to serve. Toppings are optional, but I like to add some extra chopped fresh strawberries and a sprinkling of shredded coconut as well. And that's it. Quick, simple, really healthy. Breakfasts do not get much better than this. So I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you did, please do let me know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course don't forget to subscribe for brand new recipes every week, and I'll see you next time.
Was that instant oats that she was using or old-fashioned?
You can use either or. She was using instant oats, but regular old-fashioned oats are perfectly fine to use in this recipe too. I always use them.
Yeah, and I would say just if you don't use instant, it's probably better if you leave it overnight, because that way they have time to absorb a little bit more of the moisture. But yeah, both of them are great options. And both
also,
of them are whole grains.
yes, and if you like the taste of steel cut oats, which I am a big fan of, I would make this the night before, and then in the morning, it only takes about 5 minutes to cook them. I have to cook them in the morning because they don't really get that soft, the steel cut, but it only takes about 5 minutes to boil and be ready for you. So you can use any kind of oats.
A nice warm option if you want your overnight oats a little bit warm. Okay, thank you for that, and thank you for your comment. So we're moving on to the strawberry scones recipe. Somebody shared that they can use or like to use strawberries in scones. So this is a very easy recipe. It takes only 10 to 15 minutes to prepare, and you end up with having a more memorable breakfast as well. These scones are best served warm just after taking them out of the oven, and the sprinkled sugar on top creates a crispy crust while the interior is soft and filled with strawberries. It's really hard to resist. So we're gonna watch a video, and I'm gonna make all of your mouth water. So let's, Malik, you wanna show the video?
Yes, sure. They do look beautiful.
Well, you may not be no beauty, but you sure look good to me.
And bake.
Well, you may not be no beauty, but you sure look good to me. Well, I know one thing for certain, I won't ever set you free. Well, you give me a million reasons to walk right out the door. Well, you give me a million reasons to walk right out the door. But there's something about you keeps me coming back for more.
beautiful scones.
Yes, I don't know why I kept thinking like some lemon zest or orange zest with it as I was, seeing the preparation. It would just be like a great combination.
I know when I make cranberry scones, I would add a little bit of orange zest. I guess that would go with that one too. All right, so our next recipe is strawberry avocado caprese.
Looks like Malik.
More than 15 minutes.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, you froze a bit, Malik. I thought it was me.
Oh,
No, you're good now. You can
I'm
go
good.
ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, it shows now that my internet was unstable. Sorry about that. So our next recipe is strawberry avocado caprese salad. It's an easy, delicious, and nutritious recipe that you can put together in about 15 minutes or less. It's a wonderful twist to the traditional caprese salad because it has strawberries and avocados. All right, let's watch.
One of my favorites.
Mhm.
Hi, I'm Jerry James Stone, and in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to make this awesome caprese salad. Now, caprese salad, it's typically tomato, mozzarella, basil, some balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and boom, you're good, right? Well, I'm gonna twist it up a little bit. I'm gonna add in some more fruits. Yes, tomato is a fruit. It is a fruit. I'm gonna add in strawberries. I'm gonna add in avocado. And this balsamic glaze over the top of it, super, super amazing. This is a delicious salad, perfect for your next barbecue, summer. You should be eating this all summer long. Trust me. Wait till you see it. Let's go do it, okay? Just wait till you see it. Okay, so the first thing you need to make this strawberry caprese salad is, well, strawberries. I'm gonna add in some cherry tomatoes, because what's a caprese salad without tomatoes? And then some sliced bocconcini, which is basically just tiny mozzarella balls. Add in our olive oil, a little bit of salt, some balsamic vinegar, and some basil. Basil chopped up like this is called chaffinade, which is just tiny strips of basil. And we're just gonna mix this all together. Now we're gonna add in the avocado. And what's a strawberry avocado caprese without, well, avocado? I'm adding this in last for a very specific reason. Avocado tends to be a little bit more gentle, and when you stir it, it gets smushed. So want to get all that stirring to happen before you add in the avocado. Add that in, and we're just gonna gently fold that in, trying to not overwork it. There we go. Now I'm gonna top off some balsamic glaze. Okay, I'm gonna top it off with a little cracked black pepper first. And now some balsamic glaze. There you have it, avocado strawberry caprese. And that's it. That's all it takes to make that delicious strawberry avocado caprese salad. So if you like the recipe, hey, give me a thumbs up. Really, it does help a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I really
Great. And
Great.
those of you who are being mindful about your sodium intake, you can totally try the salad without adding any salt. I mean, it
Yes,
has the
definitely.
olive oil, the pepper, the basil, that's all you need.
Mhm.
So just don't be scared to skip the salt.
Mhm.
All right, so we're gonna move to the roasted chicken and strawberry salsa. A delicious lunch idea that can be prepared ahead of time, and we always like that, especially if we're having guests. Pre-cooked chicken and grains such as quinoa, farro, barley, or brown rice can be used and be kept in the freezer before adding the fresh ingredients and the dressing. So let's watch the video. Thank you, Malik, for putting that up.
I love those colors. This recipe reminds me of my plate because it has the grain, the whole grain, the fruits, vegetables, and the protein. So the only thing that's missing is the dairy part, which you can probably add as a bowl of yogurt or a glass of cold milk.
Or even some cheese on top.
Mm-hmm. And here is our healthy strawberry bars. This recipe can be doubled because it's as it is, it's a little, it may be a little too little for a family, but you can double the recipe and bake the whole thing in a 9 by 13-inch baking pan if you have more than 3-4 people in your house. The bars will be a bit thicker, but they will still be delicious. To make them gluten-free, substitute the white whole wheat flour with 1-to-1 gluten-free baking mix. You can store the leftovers in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. To freeze, you can let the bars cool completely and do not glaze. Then you can wrap tightly in plastic before placing them in the freezer and let them defrost in the refrigerator and top with glaze before serving. You can freeze already glazed bars if needed, but if you glaze them later, they'll look more fresh. If you want to use frozen strawberries, let them thaw completely and pat them dry before making the recipe. So are we ready to take a look at the video? It has a really nice little tip that I liked on how to use the parchment paper effectively.
Hi, I'm Erin Clark from wellplated.com, and today we are making my healthy strawberry oatmeal bars. They have not 1, but 2 layers of buttery oatmeal crust. There's some fresh, juicy strawberries in between, and they're so easy to make. All you need is 1 bowl. Let's get started. So I'm going to begin in the middle being those yummy ruby red strawberries I talked about. I'm just gonna grab some fresh berries and cut them into a small dice. You want to cut these pretty small because the berries actually cook down right in the center of the bars. You don't need to cook them separately on the stove. And dicing them small makes sure that all of those yummy juices come out. And now we are going to move on to the yummy buttery oatmeal layer. So just grab yourself a big mixing bowl. You don't need a mixer at all. Just a whisk or a spatula will do the job perfectly. Add some old-fashioned rolled oats. This is white whole wheat flour. These bars are actually 100% whole grain. Now, to give the bars a little bit of flavor, I'm adding some ground ginger. It's kind of fresh and zesty, and it tastes really nice against the sweet strawberries. Pinch of salt for balance, and then some light brown sugar to make sure our bars are nice and sweet. Not a lot, just a 1/3 cup. So now just grab a whisk, and you want to kind of mix this all up together so that it's evenly distributed, and any clumps that you might have in your brown sugar get nice and broken up. So have our dry ingredients nice and combined, and now it is time for a little bit of butter. This is some melted butter. I'm just gonna pour it right over the top. Okay, so now just get in there, stir it all around. All right, I've got my nice buttery crumb topping all together. I could seriously eat this entire bowl right now, but focus, let's make the bars. So you're going to set aside a 1/2 cup, and that is going to become the topping for the bars. No need to make a separate crust. We're going to use this 1 bowl for both layers. As I said, easy is the name of the game. I'm going to grab an 8 by 8-inch pan that I have lined with parchment paper and coated with a bit of baking spray. This is one of my favorite easy tips. I don't know if you've ever tried to line a pan with parchment paper and the edges keep kind of flipping and flopping all over the place. I just use these little office clips to clamp down. They're totally oven safe, and that way my parchment paper stays out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna take all of this nice buttery crust and pour it right on in. And then with my fingers, we just take it and press it into a single layer. and then this will become the base of the bars. Okay, bottom crust is good to go, and now we are going to add in our lovely strawberries. You want to add about half of your strawberries to start, and just kind of scatter them all over here. It's not a science. And then we're going to add the rest of the strawberry filling ingredients, again, right in this pan. And that starts with a little bit of cornstarch. Just kind of give it a tap. Next comes a little bit of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and I'm just gonna squeeze it right onto the bars. I'm gonna put my fingers here just in case there are any seeds, and that way I catch them. Now, sprinkle on just a touch of sugar. Most of the sweetness is coming from the strawberries. Save a bit for the rest. And speaking of the rest, here we go. So just keep putting your strawberries on. If you see any blank spots, that's a really nice place to put them. Okay, now we just sprinkle on a little bit more sugar, and that is all we need. Okay, remember that topping we set aside? That is our top crust. So just crumble it right over the top, and it's not gonna completely cover the bars. You wanna have some strawberries peeking through. Now we're going to bake these beauties for about a half hour until the crust gets nice and golden and the strawberries are really juicy and bubbly. All right, our bars have baked and they smell amazing. I just completed the extremely difficult task of letting them cool. I know you're going to want to dive right in, but I promise it is worth waiting. Now, you can eat them just like this. I actually sometimes do that for breakfast. But if you want to make them a little sweeter and more like a dessert, I make a very simple glaze that I drizzle right over the top. So that's what we're going to do now. So I started with a half cup of powdered sugar, and now I'm adding a tablespoon of milk. You can use any kind of milk you like. And then just to give the glaze great flavor, I use pure vanilla extract. Now grab your whisk and get to it. Now, if you want a slightly thinner glaze, you can always add milk, just a few teaspoons at a time until you get that perfect consistency that you're after. I tend to like it a little thicker, so I'm gonna leave it just like this. Perfect. All right, it is the moment of truth. We are going to drizzle our yummy vanilla glaze over the top of our beautiful strawberry bars. Drizzle as much or as little as you like. You can really just connect with your inner artist. Oh my gosh, do these look pretty or what? Okay, now all that remains is to slice and to serve these up. I hope that you enjoy this recipe as much as I do, and then it gives you something fun and fresh to do in the kitchen. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Erin Clark from wellplated.com, and I look forward to cooking again with you next time.
Great, so I think by now we are all very hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to torture you. We're going to have one more recipe. And then many of you probably would want to go and get some strawberries tomorrow. So our last recipe is the no-bake strawberry cheesecake cups. So Malik is going to show us the video. It's also a very simple recipe and it's very delicious.
Very. Very easy.
And those of you who have children or friends with children or siblings, this is great opportunity. All these recipes, a lot of them have process where you can involve the children, whether it's washing the strawberries, picking them out if you're growing them in your garden, and then helping make these easy recipes. And it's a way to help them also learn how to incorporate a variety of fruits in their meals.
That's right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
I find that buying the local strawberries, I know they're delicious and all, but expensive to make some of the things. Like I like to make strawberry rhubarb pie or a couple of those things. I find the store strawberries sometimes taste better, and I seem to get more taste out of it sometimes than I do the local. Either it's too watery or local, or you need an awful lot, and there's just a small pint is sometimes very, I don't know what it's going to be this year, but I tend to go towards, when I'm trying to bake something, I use the store-bought Drustos or whatever's on the market. And then if I do have a chance to buy a pint or something, I'll eat them fresh that way, but not cook them or anything, but just enjoy them. But not that many of them. I don't know why, but I used to go out in the fields. I used to make a lot of strawberry type things, jams and all, when my children were going to school, but I can't, the expense of it all it has been higher and higher each year. And the fields are less and less, lots of vineyards and other, but do you have any, way to, what your feelings or your about getting the strawberries that you buy in the supermarket as compared to the fresh ones at the farm stand? What's your opinion? I don't.
Okay, Marta, are you more familiar with the farm stands? And
yeah, I mean, like Malik said at the beginning, like if you're making a pie or you're incorporating to a recipe, they would be budget friendly if you can use the fresh frozen varieties. The frozen strawberries, as long as they don't have any sugar or anything added to them, they are almost equally as nutritious and sometimes even more nutritious, depending on where.
What about the containers, though? I haven't been buying the frozen. I've been the containers, and I bought a couple today, and they're delicious. I mean,
yes, and they are, strawberries don't last a lot once they're freshly picked. So right now we have, there's a lot of transportation, and they come in refrigerated trucks. So even though they might be not locally grown, like in your within a radius of Long Island, they might be from upstate or New Jersey or Pennsylvania. That's pretty local too. So the quality of the strawberry, and that's they probably have larger farms, and that's why they're selling more wholesale. There is also like farmers have also limited amount of time that they need to produce their crops, so sometimes it could be a little bit higher of the price, but I don't see anything wrong of you taking the advantage of buying the ones from the store, because you have to be mindful about how you spend the money. And like you say, you rather enjoy those fresh and then use those frozen ones, or just to do your pies or whatever you visit that you prepare. And nutrient wise, there's not going to be a significant difference. And remember, the idea is always to incorporate a variety of fruits and vegetables. So even if maybe that strawberry batch was a little bit less of vitamin C, which we won't know, you are consuming other fruits and vegetables that are high vitamin C. So that shouldn't be a concern. Don't limit yourself with that.
Okay.
And think about doing one of those containers of your own plants, Justine.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. How come I've never heard of the yellow strawberries and the purple ones? I mean, is it because of our climate out here? Or I've never seen anywhere on the market or anywhere around the world I've traveled, I've never seen just red strawberries. But
Mhm.
where would I find such strawberries growing? Where in the country?
Well, that I don't know specifically. I don't know if Malik.
I'm not sure, but I'm guessing we can probably look them up online and find out who has them. I'm
Buy
sure
the
some.
seeds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably maybe like little, boutique farm stands somewhere might,
exactly.
I would think outside our country.
but it's gonna be too
Yes,
much.
I was gonna say that. Like, I know in the southern countries we do have yellow strawberries. Purple, I have never seen. But we do have, the other varieties. So, and a lot of times, the varieties of vegetables and fruits, there are many varieties that we don't know about. It's just that either the farmers grow what they know that is going to be familiar to the consumers, or the stores are bringing something that's familiar to the consumers, right? I mean, I remember many years ago, like we talked about potatoes, we didn't see all these colorful combinations of potatoes in the supermarket, right? Now it's getting a little bit more common and popular. So there are many products that are a variety, like you say, because maybe other parts of the world use them, that are not very common in our culture or our country, just because it wasn't something that consumers were familiar with. So sometimes it takes a little time for that. But I think it's a great option. Like Lynn was saying, like if we can get the seeds or look them online and then grow our own strawberries with different colors.
One more question. If I do it by the container and I put the plants in, they don't produce, doesn't it take every other year? They don't produce the fruit right away.
I believe it's the first year that you don't get any strawberries. They start growing by the next year, and then
So
you
if
get
I
it
put
every
it
year.
if I start with a planter, I have to wait till next year to
If you start with seeds, you won't get any
okay.
strawberries for that year. But if you start with plants, yes, you
Okay.
will be able to get your
And then
strawberries.
if I leave it in the pot over, over a year, and then will they still produce with the plants?
I don't believe so. I've never grown strawberries, but as far as I'm concerned, as much as I watched all these videos to prepare these PowerPoints, I think you need to either save them for next year. I'm not sure how, or you can buy new plants the following year.
Yeah,
They have different ways of preserving those plant pieces of the plants.
Probably indoors.
Yes, you can
I
probably.
mean, I've grown strawberries in my backyard garden.
Right.
The problem is that rabbits love them. So usually I grow them for them.
I remember going out in the fields, and there would be one patch you're allowed to, but there would be a patch you can't, because next year, that would be next year. So the farmer's always trying to get ahead, 1 year ahead, so that you pick the strawberries, and if there's anything from the old patch, you're allowed to go in there, but a new patch will be started for the following year.
Okay, so that's an important thing to consider then.
Yeah, I have to see if it's worth all the effort. Oh, thank you. You're very interesting. I'm going to try some of these. It's especially good on pancakes. And strawberry rhubarb. I made a crumble, and for the first time, I tried to freeze some of it. It was so good. But the rhubarb, I make sure it's very young, very, very thin, very young, not the heavy, thick kind.
So it's tender.
And I didn't have any strawberries, but I went to use the containers that I saw in the store. They were on sale, and it came out, terrific.
I think you need to make some of that overnight oatmeal for Jim tonight.
Listen, I don't want to send. I don't know what. I don't know. I like the one with the scones. I'm really interested in making scones, and I think that would be something I would like to try.
Great. Let us know next time.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn, too, for bringing it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, everybody. Have a great Memorial weekend. Stay
Yes,
safe.
be
Yes.
safe,
Hopefully you'll
please.
Try
The
one
traffic.
of
Do
the
your
recipes.
shopping now because it was mobbed.
Yes.
It was
Make sure you find
mobbed.
your strawberries between tomorrow, like.
And IGA has them on sale.
Okay,
Really
there
low
you go.
price. So that's what I did. I ran back and got some. Okay.
All right, good night,
Wonderful.
everyone.
Good night,
Okay,
everybody.
good
Thank
night.
you so much.
Bye-bye.
Shirley, thank you.
Yeah.